Hello, it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net, and in this video, I'm going to give you a simple explanation of an open stance, neutral stance, and closed stance when hitting ground strokes. Now, this video is sponsored by playercourt.com. It's a website where you can find people to play against, people to practice with, and even coaches in your local area. Use my link, playercourt.com/2minutetennis, for 50% off when you join their awesome community. My link is in the description below, and I'll pin it in the first comment. All right, open stance, super simple. Open stance simply means your right foot is on the right and your left foot's on the left. That's it. So here's an open stance forehand. My right foot is on the right and my left foot is on the left. It's the exact same thing when hitting a backhand. Left foot is on the left, right foot is on the right. Open stance. It doesn't mean you're facing forward. You're going to turn no different than on a neutral or a closed stance. It's just that your left foot's on the left and your right foot is on the right. And we're going to talk about why you'd want to do this in a second. So now the neutral stance. Neutral stance, think of like golfers or skateboarders or surfers. One foot's in front and one foot is in back. So here is a neutral stance when hitting forehands. I should add a split step when I'm hitting on the Topspin Pro. Always add a split step. So there's a neutral stance. You can either execute it with your back foot turning up on the toe, or you can hit and let your back foot come around. On the backhand, it's the same thing. One foot is in front, one foot is in back. Since I'm right-handed, then that means my right foot is in front and my left foot turns up on the toe. Split step. Always split step when you're hitting on your Topspin Pro. And that could be the same as the one-hander as well on the backhand. And now the closed stance. Now I like to call the closed stance something different. I like to make the name longer. I like to call it the closed stance fallout, because you don't want to hit in a closed stance if you can help it. You actually want to fall out of it. So it looks like this. A closed stance is the opposite of the open stance. Open stance is right foot on the right, left foot on the left. A closed stance is the reverse. My hips are locked and my stance is closed. So it's hard for me to turn my hips. So when I hit the ball this way, I have to let my back foot come around. So it's like you're falling out of it. So you hit and you fall out of it. So I'll hit closed stance here. It's not easy to do this in socks. It's a closed stance, fall out. Same thing on the backhand side. So I'm going to step across with my front foot, hit, and then fall out of it. See, when you have a Topspin Pro, you can practice the different stances. And it's the same thing on the one-hander. On the one-hander, you're trying to keep your upper body sideways when you're done. Like that. Now, when are you going to use these? There are a multitude of moments you're going to use this, whether it's a return of serve or you're running hard to the side or whatever. But let me give you the really easy lowdown here. The higher the ball is, the more likely it's an open stance. So when you watch the pros play on clay, you see a lot of open stance being used with those high balls, because clay, the ball bounces higher. The ball comes into the ground, it pushes up against the clay, and it kind of pushes the clay into a ramp. And that's actually why the ball bounces higher, because the ball actually goes up off a ramp. If you watch it in slow motion, you can see the ball impact pushes the clay. The clay is now a ramp and it shoots higher. That's why a ball bounces higher on clay. The lower the ball, the more likely it is a closed stance. Now there are exceptions on low balls and high balls, but I'm just trying to give you the real simple understanding. The higher the ball, more likely it's an open stance. The lower ball, it's more likely a closed stance. Practice these ideas. And by the way, get yourself a Topspin Pro. My affiliate link is in the description below, and I'll also pin that in the first comment. You're watching all these videos, you might as well have a way to practice these concepts and these footworks at home. Work on the closed stance, open stance, and neutral stance, and there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.